Imagine waking up every day with the exact same 24 hours as a top scientist, a billionaire, or an Olympic athlete. The only real difference? They just know how to run their minds a bit differently. Have you ever wondered how some people stay consistently productive without burning out, while many of us wake up already feeling exhausted? Sometimes, it feels like our own brain is working against us. There are days when you just want to drop everything and stay in bed. Your to-do list is a mile long, but your energy level is sitting at zero. When you finally sit down to focus, distractions are everywhere: phone notifications, the endless glow of social media, and that restless mental itch that wants to change the channel every 5 minutes. Now, picture a different kind of day. Imagine waking up feeling completely refreshed, your mind sharp and crystal clear. You knock out your tasks ahead of time without feeling any pressure. And at the end of the day, instead of pure exhaustion, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that you mastered your mind today. Your mind didn't master you. This isn't fantasy, it's science. Neuroscience has made it pretty clear how our brains make decisions, get trapped by distractions, and how we can actually rewire them to become super productive. The secret is simply learning to play by your brain's rules instead of fighting against it. What would your life look like if you had a set of shortcut buttons for your mind, buttons to control stress, flip on your motivation, and delete laziness? Your journey starts right here, where you'll discover 8 brain rules that can take your productivity to an entirely new level. These rules are already inside you, you just need to unlock them. But a quick heads up, once you truly understand how this works, you won't ever be able to go back to working the old way. So, the question is, are you ready to explore the hidden power of your own mind? Rule 1: Sleep, the ultimate brain reset button. Do you remember those mornings when you woke up without an alarm? Your eyes just opened naturally, and you felt an instant wave of, wow, today feels different. Your head felt light, your mind was calm, and you were overflowing with energy. It felt like your brain had completely rebuilt itself overnight. How often do those days actually happen? Maybe once a week, or if we're being honest, sometimes not even once a month. Too often, we treat sleep like a luxury instead of a biological necessity. We adopt a hustle first, sleep later mindset, burning through the night under the glare of our phone screens. And then the next morning rolls around with heavy eyes, a sluggish brain, and a half-hearted day. The reality is that sleep isn't just about resting your body, it's your brain's reset button. While you're asleep, your brain goes to work behind the scenes like a cleanup crew. It clears out mental clutter, flushes away the buildup of stress, and sweeps away the clouds of confusion. It properly files your memories, balances your emotions, and clears up your thinking. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to make good, small decisions after a genuinely great night's sleep? Your intuition is sharper, you're less irritable, and your focus stays intact. Best of all, your motivation feels completely natural, not forced. Now, imagine waking up like that every single day, fresh, clear, and full of fire. Your speed, clarity, and creativity would hit an entirely new level. The problem is, we even try to multitask our sleep. We keep our brains active right up until our eyes close, scrolling through social media or streaming shows while lying in bed. Instead of shutting down, our brain just overheats. That triggers a silent tug-of-war between your mind and your daily habits. It's time to realize that productivity actually starts in your bed the moment you tell your brain, alright, time to rest up. Tomorrow, we fly. When you make this a habit, you aren't just managing your time better, you're learning to place your energy and attention where they actually matter. Prioritizing sleep means giving your mind the respect it deserves, because a well-rested brain can pull off the kind of magic that changes the world. So, the next time you feel tempted to stay up late scrolling, just ask yourself one simple question: is this little bit of stolen sleep going to rob me of tomorrow's dreams? The choice is yours. Do you want to tuck your brain in, or burn it out? Rule 2: Exercise, move your body, sharpen your mind. Ever have one of those days where your brain feels totally foggy? Every thought moves in slow motion. When you try to work, your attention splinters. If you try to read, the words just don't register. When someone talks to you, your response feels entirely mechanical, like there's a heavy weight sitting inside your chest. No real joy, no clarity, just a strange kind of sluggishness. What's our usual fix? We grab another cup of coffee, boost our screen time, or hide behind some other distraction. But deep down, we know none of those are actual solutions. Now, imagine shaking off that exact same heavy state by simply taking a brisk 20-minute walk, doing a quick workout, or throwing in a bit of stretching and light jogging. As your breathing picks up and your heart starts pumping, you can literally feel the mental fog lifting. Your emotions start resetting, one by one. This isn't magic, it's the raw, primal connection between your body and your brain. When your body moves, your mind wakes up. A lot of people think exercise is strictly for building muscle, but the truth is, it's prime fuel for your mind. Every time you break a sweat, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, the exact chemicals that keep you happy, motivated, and focused. And it's not just a temporary rush. Regular physical movement literally alters the physical structure of your brain, strengthening the exact neurons responsible for focus, memory, and creativity. You've probably noticed this yourself. When you're trying to brainstorm an idea or solve a tricky problem, pacing around the room often works way better than sitting rigidly at a desk. Physical movement creates a rhythm in the brain, and that rhythm helps streamline your thoughts. Yet, modern life has made us so stationary that we've practically turned ourselves into sitting machines. From morning to night, we move from a chair to a couch, into a car seat, and straight to bed. Slowly, the natural vitality that used to define us just withers away. Exercise doesn't have to mean spending hours at a heavy-duty gym. It simply means giving your oxygen back to your brain, getting your emotions flowing, and waking your body up enough so your mind naturally activates. When you tell yourself, I'm just going to go for a 10-minute walk, those 10 minutes can easily transport you to a state where clarity, confidence, and calm become your default settings. Exercise is the key that unlocks your productivity doors, and the best part is that you always carry that key with you. You just have to use it. So the next time your mind feels dull, your motivation vanishes, or a task feels overwhelming, ask yourself, am I going to sit here, or am I going to get up and move? Because sometimes, a single simple step can completely shift your entire day. Rule 3: Focus one task at a time. Have you ever caught yourself trying to do 5 things at once? You've got your phone in one hand, you're typing an email with the other, your brain is replaying a past conversation, and you've got a video playing in the background. On top of all that, your mind is nagging you about 3 other things you still need to get done. Yet, at the end of the day, when you finally pause, the big question pops up: what did I actually accomplish today? And the answer is usually, I tried to do a lot, but nothing really got finished. This is the deceptive comfort of multitasking. It makes you feel like you're managing a ton of things, but in reality, your brain is violently jumping from one task to another every 10 seconds. With every single jump, your energy shatters. Focus isn't a luxury, it's a superpower. And the most genuinely successful people in the world have mastered this power. Because when your mind locks onto a single task completely, your brainwaves act like a laser beam. You drop into that deep zone where creativity explodes, clarity becomes crystal clear, and time seems to just fly by. Unfortunately, the modern world pulls us away from focus at every turn. Every beep, every notification, and every vibration disconnects you from your original train of thought. Your brain slowly becomes addicted to shallow thinking, short videos, short thoughts, short attention spans, and ultimately, short-lived success. Now, imagine a day where you dedicated yourself to just one single task with absolute dedication and complete presence. No distractions, no unnecessary switching, just you and that task, sharing a calm, deep connection. Think about the quality of that work, and the feeling you'd have when you finally step back and lift your head. That is the power of deep work. It turns working into something much more than just crossing items off a list, it turns it into total immersion. Reclaiming your focus isn't an impossible mission, but it is a conscious choice. You have to train your mind to understand that not everything requires your attention right this second. When you first try to do this, your brain will push back, it will feel bored and crave distractions. But if you hold your ground through that initial wave, you'll find yourself in a completely new headspace, one where your mind is calm and your actions are powerful. Once you master that, you can accomplish much more impactful work in a fraction of the time. That is the true face of productivity. It's quiet, not loud, and centered, not scattered. So next time you dive into a project, ask yourself just one question: am I actually present in what I'm doing right now? If the answer is no, take a pause, take a deep breath, and drop fully into that single task. Because when you give one task 1% more pure focus, that's where extraordinary results begin. Rule 4: Stress, manage it before it manages you. Sometimes we're sitting completely still on the outside, but a full-blown storm is raging on the inside. Our breathing gets shallow, our chest feels tight, and our mind drifts into a pool of nameless anxiety. There's no clear reason for it, yet it feels like something terrible is about to happen. That's stress. It doesn't always show on the outside, but it slowly eats away at you from the inside. The most dangerous thing about stress is how quietly it creeps up until you just get used to living with it. We brush it off, calling it normal pressure, being a little busy, or just having an off day. But the truth is, stress never truly sleeps. Every single day, it slows down our thinking, chips away at our focus, and colors our decisions with fear. Imagine you're trying to work on a project. On the surface, everything looks fine, but underneath, anxiety is putting on the squeeze. You judge yourself harshly over every minor mistake, overthink every step, and tie every possible outcome to the fear of failure. What kind of quality is that work going to have? And how painful is that journey going to be? Stress burns out your productivity from the inside out. And it doesn't just affect your mind, your body reacts, too. Your sleep gets disrupted, your energy stays low, and over time, you normalize feeling completely drained. But that doesn't mean you're helpless against it. Stress isn't your enemy, it's a warning signal. It's your system's way of telling you that something has fallen out of balance. And the moment you learn to actually listen to that signal instead of ignoring it, you can start managing your stress effectively. The first step is simply pausing. When you feel that inner restlessness building up, hit the brakes on everything. No phone calls, no conversations, just check in with yourself. Take one deep breath and ask your mind, what do you actually need right now? Sometimes your mind just needs a little breathing room. Sometimes it needs clarity, or simply the reassurance that you aren't carrying everything alone. Another powerful way to handle stress is through physical movement. When your body moves, your trapped emotions start to flow. Go for a short walk, do some light stretching, or spend a few minutes out in the fresh air. Your mind will naturally begin to stabilize. Most importantly, you have to reset your expectations. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be completely flawless, to rush through everything, and in that frantic push, we lose ourselves. Remember, you aren't a machine. You're a human being with real feelings, real boundaries, and most importantly, the amazing capacity to heal. Managing stress simply means giving your mind the basic respect it deserves, listening to it, understanding it, and cooperating with it. Because if you don't slow down stress, one day stress will force you to stop. So ask yourself, are you going to let yourself drift toward burnout, or will you take a small step today to start healing? The choice and your peace of mind is entirely yours. Rule 5: Repetition, repeat to remember. Have you ever noticed how you can hear certain things over and over again, but the moment you actually need that information, it completely vanishes? You read an important idea, write down an inspiring quote, or pick up a new concept, yet when it's time to take action, your mind draws a total blank. Sometimes we beat ourselves up and think, man, my memory is just terrible. But that's usually not the case. The truth is, our brains don't store information just because we heard it or saw it once. They store it and make it permanent through repetition. Your brain acts just like a muscle. You can't go to the gym once and expect to walk out with visible abs. In the exact same way, you can't read something once and expect to permanently retain it. Real retention comes down to repetition. When you hear an idea over and over, and think about it repeatedly, it stops being just a random piece of trivia and becomes an actual part of who you are. That's why you can easily sing along to songs you never even intentionally tried to memorize, because you've heard them, repeated them, absorbed them, and felt them. Now, imagine applying that exact same technique to your personal goals, your learning, and your core values. Wouldn't those things become permanently ingrained in you? Yet, the biggest trap of modern life is that we consume brand new information every single day without ever repeating or reinforcing it. We hunt for inspiration, but we skip integration. You hear a great idea, feel deeply motivated, and instantly swipe away to the next video on your feed. That's why we stay constantly inspired, but rarely ever transform. Repetition isn't boring, it's literally the native language of the brain. When you repeat a powerful idea to yourself, read it twice a day, or write it down, your brain flags it as a priority. That's how new habits are born, how decisions get influenced, and how long-term results are designed. If you want to pick up a new skill, shift an emotional habit, or build a fresh mindset, start building daily repetition into your routine. It will feel awkward at first, and your brain will put up resistance. But slowly, those new thoughts will sink deep into your subconscious. Before long, you'll surprise yourself with how clearly you can think, how confidently you can make decisions, and how fast you're growing. Repetition turns knowledge into memory, and memory into action. So the next time a powerful thought touches your heart, don't just let it slide past. Grab it, repeat it, and absorb it. Because whatever thought you choose to think over and over again eventually becomes your identity. Rule 6: Visuals beat text. Did you ever read a line in a book that made total sense in the moment, only to completely forget it a few days later? But then, years down the road, you saw one simple picture that instantly struck a chord and stuck with you forever? That is the true power of visuals. Our brains process images much faster, feel them more deeply, and hold on to them much longer than plain text. When you look at an image, your brain absorbs the entire picture all at once, colors, emotions, meaning, and all in a single glance. Reading text requires active concentration and conscious decoding of letters and definitions. But visuals cut straight through to the heart and mind. Imagine you're trying to learn a brand new concept, and you have two choices: read a long, dense block of text, or look at a clean infographic that breaks down the exact same idea using colors and shapes. Most people would instantly pick the second option. Why? Because it's faster, clearer, and naturally engaging. When learning is paired with visuals, it stops feeling dry and turns into an actual experience. That's why children's books are packed with pictures. Unfortunately, as we grow up, we drop that habit and start treating learning like a chore, which is why it often gets boring. So, if you want to boost your productivity, master a new skill, or make sure you never forget a key idea, why not make visuals a core part of your thinking? Mind maps, diagrams, color-coded notes, and quick sketches keep your brain fully engaged. You aren't just relying on cold logic anymore, you're bringing imagination into the mix. And imagination is the rocket fuel that takes your thinking to the next level. Visuals give you immediate clarity, like the fog lifting off a road just when you need to see where you're going. When you turn a goal into an actual image and put it on a vision board, it stops being just a distant dream. It transforms into a visual reality that pulls you forward every day, inspiring you and reminding you why you started in the first place. Visuals aren't just meant to be seen, they're meant to be felt. And when something evokes a genuine feeling, you don't forget it. So if you want to keep your thoughts organized, your ideas memorable, and your mind fresh every day, make visuals your best friend alongside text. In a fast-paced world where everyone is racing after raw information, the ones who pull ahead are the ones who know how to visualize it. The choice is yours. Do you want to just read information, or do you want to see it, feel it, and make it an actual part of your life? Rule 7: Emotions drive action. Whether we like to admit it or not, our decisions, our goals, and our daily productivity aren't actually driven by pure logic, they're driven by emotion. You've probably noticed this in your own life. When your heart is genuinely connected to something, you can easily pull an all-nighter to get it done without burning out or stopping. But when your heart isn't in it, even a small task feels like carrying a boulder up a hill. You drag your feet, procrastinate, and find every single minute agonizing. Sometimes we try to force ourselves through sheer discipline: keep going, don't waste time, stop being lazy. Yet, the motivation remains entirely missing from the inside. Why? Because the logic is there, but the emotion is completely absent. Emotion is the invisible force that can light a fire under any action. If you don't have an emotional connection to a goal, that goal is nothing more than a line on a to-do list, a chore you want to check off, but never actually want to live through. Think about a mother staying up night after night to care for her sick child, an artist spending months perfecting a single painting, or a dedicated professional pouring their soul into a craft. Are they doing all that purely out of routine? Of course not. There is deep emotion there. There is a powerful drive and a deeply personal meaning behind it. Emotions awaken the sleeping energy within you. When a task stops feeling like a forced obligation and starts feeling deeply personal, an inner fire ignites. And that fire makes your actions completely unstoppable. The real problem starts when we plan our lives using purely cold logic. I need to do this, I have to get over there. But we completely forget to ask ourselves, why do I actually care about doing this? Every single action needs an emotional anchor, a reason that genuinely touches your heart. Because when your heart is involved, your mind naturally falls in line. If you want to pull your mind out of distractions and feel inspired the second you wake up, figure out what connects your work to your core values. Tie every task to a real story. Look for the emotion behind every goal, whether it's joy, passion, pride, or a deep-seated dream. Emotions are the engine that moves the mind. And when your brain operates with an emotional drive, your productivity stops feeling mechanical and turns magical. So the next time you catch yourself putting off a task, don't just ask yourself whether you should do it. Instead, ask yourself, what kind of feeling is tied to this work? Because when your reason comes straight from the heart, your momentum won't stop. Rule 8: the brain needs breaks. Sometimes we expect ourselves to run like machines, working non-stop without a pause, pushing harder day and night, checking off tasks from sunrise to midnight, and displaying maximum productivity 24/7. The harsh reality is, we aren't machines. We are human beings. And no matter how powerful your brain is, it has hard limits. Have you ever noticed how, after working for hours without a break, your mind suddenly blanks out? Your body might still be sitting in your chair, but your focus has completely checked out. You stare right at your screen, but nothing is actually registering. A heavy mental fatigue settles in that goes way beyond physical tiredness. That is the exact moment your brain is flashing a warning sign, I need a breather. And what do we usually do? We feel guilty. We tell ourselves, if I take a break right now, I'm wasting time. So we force ourselves to keep going, let me just finish this one last thing, then I'll rest. But in that stubborn push, we end up draining the last drops of our energy, focus, and creativity. Taking a break isn't a sign of weakness, it's how you recharge your productivity. Our brains operate on natural biological cycles known as ultradian rhythms, cycles that naturally peak every 90 to 120 minutes. That means your brain can only maintain peak focus for a certain stretch before it desperately needs a reset. If you ignore that reset, you slowly slide out of high performance and into a low energy trap. But when you give your brain short, well-timed breaks, it bounces back sharper than ever. Small 5 or 10-minute breaks where you close your eyes, take a short walk, or just breathe deeply give your brain silent power. Afterward, that same sluggish mind returns with double the clarity and speed. Breaks don't hold you back, they give you the momentum you need to bounce back stronger. But this only works if you take your breaks with awareness, free of guilt. Your brain works hard for you all day long, solving complex problems, balancing your emotions, and holding your focus together. Doesn't it deserve a little rest? Sometimes, the single most productive thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Just take a pause and reconnect with yourself. Because when you give your mind the space it needs, it will deliver answers and insights that a non-stop hustle will never find. So the next time your mind feels exhausted and your heart says, please, let's just pause for a second, listen to it. Stop quietly, drop the guilt, and rest with full self-respect. Because that exact pause is where your true momentum begins again. Conclusion. When you first started reading this, you probably just wanted to figure out how to get more work done, feel less tired, and get faster results. But you've just walked through a journey that goes way beyond standard productivity. You've uncovered the true power of your own mind. You've learned that sleep isn't just a casual habit, but a deep restoration tool for your brain. You've seen how moving your body instantly sharpens your mind, how anchoring down into a single task creates real focus, and why understanding stress is so much healthier than just burying it. You've discovered how repetition, visuals, and deep emotion combine to turn your brain into a creative engine, and how a well-timed break can be the birthplace of your next big breakthrough. These 8 brain rules aren't boring textbook theories. They are quiet, everyday tools that can take you from ordinary to extraordinary. The real question now is, Are you just going to read these rules and let them slip away, or are you going to start living them? Because action is what turns knowledge into real power. The decision is entirely in your hands. If this resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Drop a comment below and let us know which of these 8 brain rules is going to make the biggest impact on your life. And if you want to keep uncovering the hidden secrets locked inside powerful books, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a mind-shifting video. Share this with anyone you know who wants to level up just a little bit every single day. Remember, your mind is your greatest asset. You just need to know how to drive it right. See you in the next one with another life-transforming book. Thank you.